Welcome back, everyone. Life University offers students the tools they need to succeed. And just one of the many areas of study is psychology. Here today to tell us all about the department and an exciting new program they've launched is Assistant Professor of Positive Human Development and Social Change. I like that. Dr. Michael Karlin. Welcome, Doctor.
Thank you. Good to be here.
I'm so happy you're here. I was reading in the notes in preparation of you coming, and this sounds so incredible. It sounds like a course we all need to take. But let's talk about this. It's Positive Human Development, Social Change. What is this department all about?
Sure. So at Life University, we believe that in order to really educate people, you have to do more than just feed their intellect or teach them critical thinking skills. What you need to do is also teach them how to become better human beings, teach them the kinds of skills that they need for emotion regulation, emotional awareness, empathy, compassion, and then also help them figure out how they're going to take those things and everything they've learned and put it to use to make better human beings and a better social system. And so what we've done is we took the unprecedented step of merging our psychology department and our business departments together into one. And now we have faculty across both the social sciences, the humanities, and business all working together to give an interdisciplinary education so that no matter what degree you might get in that department, what you're actually going to be able to do is you're actually going to learn core skills like compassion and secular ethics or transformational leadership skills, peace studies, conflict transformation, things like that. So that, again, it goes back to kind of what Dr. Martin Luther King said when he said that intellect plus character is really the truest form of education.
Absolutely. I can think of, there's not one of us that wouldn't benefit from a program like this. But psychology really can be such a subjective field. How do you address these sometimes varying ideas in the classroom?
So that's a great question. Two ways to answer it. First thing is that psychology is becoming less and less subjective with advances in neuroscience, fMRI technology, psychoneuroimmunology, and things of that nature are making it so that we can actually measure things in a much more granular and repeatable way. But it also speaks to a different thing, which is a lot of times at universities what you do is you learn these things and you discuss these things, but you don't actually practice them.
Right.
And so at Life University...
How do you retain them then?
Right. How do you retain it and how do you actually understand it in a subjective way?
Right.
And so at Life University and in our department, every course has requirements for practice labs where you're actually, if we're teaching you about what compassion is, and we can read all the research about it, but if you actually don't sit in a lab and do the practices that help cultivate compassion and practice compassion, it's not going to happen.
Exactly. And what degrees can we get from your department?
So we have traditional bachelor's in business administration, we have a bachelor's in psychology, we have a brand new degree which is called Positive Human Development and Social Change. And you know, that's a degree where we specifically help you figure out how to cultivate these skills but then go out and make the world a better place. We also have master's programs. So, for example, we have the only master's in positive psychology in the Southeast, and we have 3 tracks in that. So we have a general track, we have a life coaching track, and we also have a very interesting track on contemplative science and secular ethics, which is all about the study of meditation and other kinds of contemplative practices.
Yeah, which I feel like in the last decade or so, we're hearing so much more about that.
It's exploding.
Exactly.
It's exploding, yeah.
And talk to me about compassionate integrity training, and this is something that you're offering. I was telling him in the break, this is incredible. We all should do this. It's a free downloadable guide to learning more about this. Tell us what it's all about.
So the idea is that in the last 10, 20 years, we've begun to discover that we can actually change our brain through discoveries in neuroplasticity. So by teaching these kinds of, by repeating certain practices, you can actually cultivate particular skills. So compassionate integrity training is a secular approach to cultivating human values that's based on neuroscience, cognitive science, and other kinds of fields. And you can go through it step by step, and each skill builds on the previous skill. So it focuses first on your personal self-control, emotion regulation, your personal well-being, but then it also then moves into your relationships. So things like gratitude and empathy, compassion, and then ultimately goes to the third component, which is all about how do you have engaged compassion? How do you take what you've developed and bring it out into making the world a better place.
Oh, couldn't be more timely with everything that's going on in our world and right here in our country with our politics. Yes. Okay, and let's talk about I always say Etsy, but it's Etsy.
Yeah, right.
Yes, I know my cousin has a shop on Etsy. It's Etsy.org. And talk about how they're utilizing the program.
Sure. So Etsy.com, as many people know, is a very, very large online web presence. And what they did was they decided that they wanted to start a nonprofit organization that could help small entrepreneurs transform their businesses into engines for social change. And so they started this about a year or so ago, and they started developing a curriculum for individual businesses. And they were really looking for something that they could plug in that would help actually train those skills in a much more scientific way. And so we met, we approached them, we showed them what we were doing with compassion and integrity training, and ever since then they've been utilizing our program in their program.
Fantastic. Makes me love them even more.
Exactly.
So once again, getting back to the downloadable guide, this is something that's free to any of us. Later this afternoon, I had some quiet time while the kids are still at school. I can download this guide, and what is it all about? It's free meditation, things that are going to just kind of help us get more in tune to who we are.
Yeah, so there's 10 individual skills that you learn about and that you can hear a podcast about, but then there are downloadable practices. So these are meditations that help you cultivate that particular skill. And as we develop these for Etsy, we're putting them up online for free. So right now we have the first 4. Later today or tomorrow, the next 4 are going up, and there's going to be more coming on later this year.
This is phenomenal. I really want to look into this. Like I said, why wouldn't you? If it just helps us not only become better people, but learn how to relate to each other better. And again, it's that empathy that seems to be missing these days. And then congratulations, because I understand that you have a letter that you received regarding this wonderful endeavor. What's the Chillon Project about?
Yeah, so it's the Chillon Project. That's okay.
Okay.
So,
all right, I'm butchering some names.
That's okay. Through our Center for Compassion, Integrity, and Secular Ethics at Life University, we have launched the first degree program in a women's prison here in Georgia. And so just 3 weeks ago, we started classes for 15 incarcerated women at Lee Arundel Women's Prison.
Fantastic.
And through that program are going to be giving college degrees to incarcerated women. And His Holiness the Dalai Lama, who's aware of our work, was very supportive of it and congratulated us with that letter.
Incredible. What wonderful things you're doing at Life.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
I appreciate it.
much.
Thanks for having me.
It's a real treat having you. And if you would like more information on Life University or how to apply, please go to life.edu or give them a call, 770-426-2600. And this segment was paid for by Life University.